DJ, Coach has talked in the last week or two about playing you more off the ball and maybe letting you react more to plays instead of having to make decisions with the ball. What is that process like for you of maybe moving a little bit more to the 2 instead of the 1? What do you have to do differently there?
Yeah, I mean, it's just learning more about my game and learning more about myself and growing. So I think, the coaches think that's best for me. I think it's best for me as well. So, I got to grow in some areas, and while I do that, I think it's good to, let other guys create our offense more. And they want me to be more aggressive scorer. So me being off the ball, I don't have to worry about, controlling the offense and stuff like that. So that'll put a little less pressure off me, so I can put a little more focus into getting the ball in the hoop.
Have you felt like there's been too much pressure on your shoulders, or do you feel like you've been trying to do too much in that role?
I want to say, I think we all have pressure on this team. So I think that's for everybody. But I think there was games where I tried to do too much, and that's just me finding the balance in between being aggressive and knowing when to make the right plays and stuff like that. Because at the end of the day, I know I can take care of the ball if I have to. I can limit my turnovers, but I think the turnovers come when I try to put myself in situations that aren't best for the team or get too sped up and stuff like that. So I'm working on slowing down.
Is that still like adapting to this level versus things that you could do in high school?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, just like getting too deep in the lane, leaving my feet without having a place to put the ball and stuff like that. Things that I could get away with in high school, I'm starting to learn aren't working here and stuff like that. So it's a learning situation for me. It's been hard on me and stuff like that, but I've also grown from it and improved in a lot of areas along the way.
I'm curious what you thought when you watched your performance at Indiana, because it had a lot of good. It had a little bit of the stuff you just talked about with getting caught up in the air. It had some stuff that probably never happened to you before, where you had to break away and got away from you.
Yeah.
Just wonder what that's like for you, an elite player at previous levels where you're getting educated or going through some adversity here as a freshman.
Yeah, it's not easy, just because I know a lot of people depend on me, and I wasn't there for my team, and that was hard on me. But I also know that this is a team game, and we all could have done things to step up our role and stuff like that. So that was definitely probably one of the hardest games on me mentally. But my teammates and coaches got my back. They know what type of game I play and what kind of player I am. So it was a bad game, and really all I can do is just go back into film, look what I did wrong, and try to fix it and make sure it doesn't happen again. And that's what I'm trying to do.
Basketball is a reaction game. You're an athlete. You've reacted and succeeded throughout your career. How much can you take film to brain to court? Is that something you're learning for the first time in your basketball career?
No, I wouldn't say learning, but definitely more emphasis on it. Didn't watch this much film in high school, but I definitely watched a lot of film in high school just because I love basketball. I love watching the game of basketball. So, just being able to watch my film, that's easy to do. Just learning stuff from that. So, I think here there's more of an emphasis on it, and I'm learning more from it. Because when you watch film by yourself, it's harder to identify stuff and stuff like that. But when you have a coach that knows the game more than you and can point out stuff like that, that really helps your game. So I definitely think there's been more emphasis on it since I've been here.
This is going to sound like just an abrupt question, but what's going on with you guys? Number 2 in the country, you're out of the top 25. DJ Carton's perspective on that journey, what's going on?
Yeah, I think we started off really hot, and I knew we weren't going to be perfect all season. I knew we were going to hit a wall at some point, and I knew it was going to happen, and we all did. So really, I think it's just the whole overall team chemistry just needs to become better. We need to be more connected on the floor, and we need to bring more of a passion to this game. And I think that's what we kind of missed. We kind of missed that passion that people play with, that we were at the beginning of the season. And overall, just being more connected on the floor and playing for each other, I think, is the biggest thing that we need to switch up.
Picking up on that, passion, toughness, or lack of toughness, I guess. Is that an issue on this team? I know that's been a word that's been thrown out. How much more since league play began, conference play, have you been surprised at just toughness, whether it's mentally or physically, and where does this team need to get to be a tougher team?
Yeah, this game takes a lot of toughness, and that's one thing that we started off well. We were a very tough team at the beginning. It showed in our defensive numbers, but now we've kind of lost the identity of toughness and stuff like that. And I think we're a tough team, but we need to be tougher more consistently across the board, across games, and stuff like that. So, I mean, overall, I think it starts in practice, competing in practice and bringing that edge to practice every day and making it a habit. I think that's where it starts. And I think these last couple weeks we've done a really good job of that. And like Coach Holman always says, I think if we consistently put good days together like that, it's going to form a habit and it will come as second nature out there.
Is toughness more associated with defense, or how can toughness help offense? Maybe it can't. I know you're
I mean, toughness I think goes all around the game, but I think it definitely shows in defensive numbers just because I think defense doesn't always take a lot of skill. I think it takes a lot of toughness on rebounds. I don't think rebounds always take very much skill. It's really toughness, going to the ball, whether it be loose balls that guys would have dove in the earlier this season that aren't diving on now. Just little things like that can change the pace and the momentum of a game and stuff like that. So these past games we've started off slow and the momentum hasn't hit our side and stuff like that. So I think those loose balls and that toughness added to our group will create some momentum for us.
And last thing, how did it get away from you? I mean, you guys had it early. Is that because the competition wasn't as strong and so you kind of just overpowered teams with toughness? What changed?
I think there's a lot of good college basketball teams out this year. Every game we play, we know the team can beat us. I think, lately we've struggled shooting, and so that's made us, rely on our defense, and our defense hasn't been there. So that's made us lose games. To whereas in the beginning of the season, if we weren't shooting, our defense would still be there, and we could get away with some wins. So I think really is now that we're not shooting well and we're not defending, then that's just bad basketball overall in general. So I think consistently getting up more shots. The shots will come because I know we got good shooters on this team, and I know they're going to fall down. But overall, consistently more toughness on defense and more attention to detail with scouting and stuff like that. I think we can definitely improve on.
DJ, you kind of mentioned this, but your guys' defensive numbers as a team were really impressive early on in the season, and at Penn State it just wasn't there.
Yeah.
What were the conversations like after that game, and how you guys got to get back to that defensive toughness you mentioned?
Well, I mean, for the most part, it was a lot of just the team. Just the team talked after the game for a little bit, and I think that was good for us just to connect as a team and talk with no coaches there. I think it was good for us to, I think everybody on the team had something to say after that game. I mean, this isn't easy for us going into practice, every day, putting in this time, and then, performing like that. So that's not hard. That's not easy on anybody's head. So overall, just being there for each other, and we got to stay confident throughout this run. Otherwise, it can lead to longer losing streaks and stuff like that. So I think overall, keeping the team atmosphere positive in this area, and continue to stay motivated throughout this season, so we can come ready in March.
DJ, have you ever played with a big man like Kaleb before?
No, I've never played with a big man that can dunk like consistently.
So, like, you're a guy in the open court, we all see what you can do. That's a very obvious statement. So, to that point, when you're playing with a big who clearly deserves to have the ball in the post, how does that change your game?
It changed my game just because my focus has never really been to get the ball in the post, so it's just something new to me. So it's just a different offensive brand, something that I wasn't comfortable coming into, but I've gotten a lot of reps, doing that in our offensive practice and stuff like that. So getting the ball into the post is something we need to get better at because I think we have a lot of turnovers trying to do so. So just getting the ball cleanly in the post, and then because I think we have some success playing out inside out of the post.
So, given whatever personnel you had in their high school, and given what you can do,
Yeah.
how often have you played in the half? Like, obviously there's opportunities, but how often were you forced to have to play in the half court?
Yeah, I was forced a lot in high school, my senior year, because they would try to slow me down just because that was I was better at transition and stuff like that. So I had to play a lot of half court in high school, but it was nothing like this. Nothing where you had to have the attention to detail for all 30 seconds and stuff like that. So it's definitely a big change, and being patient and getting the best shot for the team is definitely a little change. But I feel like I've been able to transition to it pretty well.
And then, Kaleb, from your perspective, have you ever played with a point guard who's got some of those athletic gifts like what DJ has?
No, I don't think about it as special as DJ, but I've played with pretty good guards before. But yeah, I feel like he's different, he's special.
So when you've got a point guard who can take the ball off the rim and then go, like as a big man, like I guess like what's the adjustment there for you?
Really is really no adjustment. You know, you run the floor. You know, you're gonna try to rebound the same. But you know, he's guy special. He can get off the board and push it himself. It's just nothing really different. Just run the floor.
Go ahead.
DJ, you mentioned the team chemistry and connectedness, and that being something that you guys are focusing on. Is that something that got away from you during this stretch?
Yeah, I think that's one thing we lost. I think we lost that swagger we had, and I think we just I think the team kind of got lost and individualized a little too much. So I think just us being more connected as a team on and off the court will help. I just sometimes I feel like we're not connected out there, and it just doesn't feel the same as it did in the beginning. We all noticed that and stuff like that. So you know, we're such a close team that I mean we're becoming, you know, closer every day and stuff like that, and putting the work in the gym, the teammate chemistry should come along.
Is that a large part of what you guys were talking about in the locker room after Penn State?
Yeah, I like in the meeting after Penn State game, you know, it was just us talking. It was just us talking through our frustrations, you know, things that we thought we could have, you know, changed up, things that, you know, we see that are going wrong. And I think that that brings out a lot of attention to things that guys see on this team that goes on, and it opens our minds to other things. So it was a good talk, and we got to, you know, hear guys' different perspectives and stuff like that. So overall, I think it helped this team, and I definitely see us growing every day.
Were you seeing similar things in the past month or so, and just guys maybe not being as connected and as they really needed to be, just mentally?
Yeah, like DJ said, you know, you see it little by little, and then you get this stretch. You know, you start losing games, and people start getting frustrated. But you know, when you're winning, you know, like people overlook things like that, little frustrations that you get. So, you know, just being able to, like DJ said, we're so close to where we can have those discussions after a game, and nobody take it to heart, and you move on. And I feel like that's how we're gonna respond.
Who were the main voices talking after that game, not including Coach Holtman?
Oh, it was everybody. You know, we went down the line of how do you feel, what's your opinion now, and we're gonna move on from here. After that, we don't want to hear about something that's been going on. If you had your chance to voice your opinion, and everybody got their chance to voice their opinion, and they did.
One more out.
DJ was talking about in the half court needing to have attention to detail for the full 30 seconds, and it seems like in the half court right now the offense is trying to find a thing or two. Maybe guys are passing up shots, and you're not getting the looks that you were getting early in the season. What can you guys work on in this time that you've had here between some games to try to address that? And I guess where do you think you guys are as far as just running a half court offense right now?
I feel like we things that we need to work on, like DJ said, you know, our passing. You know, passing and catching is just a little thing that you overlook even in practice, and you might not work on it every day, but some things guys have trouble with. You know, around the country, guys have trouble passing and catching the ball. So it's just things you got to work on and things you got to be militant about.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.